Michael, could you please give us the time?
Yes, the time. The time is 8:02 p.m. Los Angeles time. It is December 30th, 2017. We are anticipating the 13th message of Maitreya. We welcome Lord Maitreya here to our beautiful home here in Mission Viejo, California, USA.
Thank you, Michael. This evening we have Lord Maitreya. We have the Universal Father. And we also have the Infinite Mother. I was under the impression the Universal Mother was coming, but she is not. It is the Infinite Mother that is here tonight. Well, that's wonderful, and we welcome you all. Maitreya. Maitreya is to our right. In the center is the Infinite Mother, and on the left is the Universal Father. So Universal Father, Infinite Mother, and Maitreya. Well, thank you all so much for coming. Thank you. They are full size tonight. Maitreya is in his personal body this evening. We have the gold hair and the gold eyes, but it's gold light. That's what sometimes people don't quite understand. It's gold light. Gold light, his hair is of gold light. It's very beautiful, thank you. The Infinite Mother is here. They are in full size. They are all three here. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so very much. The Infinite Mother I was not expecting. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Infinite Mother. The Infinite Mother is in gold this evening. A short dress with sleeves. They're long sleeves. In gold, the Universal Father. He is in white. The Universal Father is in white. The Infinite Mother is in blue this evening. In a light blue gown for the Infinite Mother. White and blue. Maitreya is in green. And he is in his personal body. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. We feel very honored. We have just come off of a wonderful gathering with some of our Urantia friends. And we were talking about some of you, Maitreya specifically, and the Universal Father. And so we also were talking about the Urantia book today, Michael and I, about some of the things that we talked about last night. So our thoughts have certainly been on you and what you are doing.
And you too, Infinite Mother.
Yes.
Yes, we were thinking about how you had arranged.
Yes, we did talk about that.
How you had arranged Diane and I.
Yes, I had forgotten.
Coming together.
Yes.
And then also sponsoring this project
Yes.
with us working with Local Universe Father and Local Universe Mother, and with you, of course. Mm-hmm. And now we have the Universal Father and the Universal Mother who have been very supportive and very loving of this project. And of course, our Lord Maitreya is here. Mm-hmm. working very hard with his team in this project that you have created or sponsored. So we thank you, Infinite Mother Spirit, for all of your love and all of your care and all of your support.
They're very close. They're just about there. They are very close to us. I had thought that Bryce might have come, Maitreya's senior archangel, but is he here? He is here. That's right. You did say that. You did say he would be here, but not for us to really talk to tonight.
Okay.
He is in the temple outside, waiting.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, he did come. And I think you did say that next week, or in January, I'm not sure of the date, we would be talking to Bryce. That's good, yes. I have been wanting to. That is our senior archangel for Maitreya and his mission.
So maybe about 5 or 6 feet away from us.
Yes, and they are full size. They are seated. Oh, they are seated. No. On just some kind of a little bench. They are seated. Okay. And they are full size, and they are seated. I know another time, Michael, when we were in the backyard, in the temple area, that they were all on benches. We had put out chairs for them, garden chairs, but they said that they actually were on benches, and they actually weren't there. Now that was one of the times they weren't actually with us. But they are. Maitreya, we understand this is your 13th message for us. We've been telling people that we have 12 messages already from you, and of course some of the other celestials that have accompanied you. And now this is your 13th. We've been blessing the world. Is that what we are doing tonight? No, we are not. We have been blessing the world, but specifically certain areas. But you're not coming to do that tonight. No. Okay. So that is not your purpose this evening. Do you want to talk about what you are doing now? No. What you will do in the future? All right. Well, I know you had given us a little insight just recently about helping the animal life have more humane treatment.
That was the 11th message.
And you've been also talking about wanting the children of the future to feel that the world was a close-knit family. And we loved that message. We thank you so much for that. And I know some of our Urantia readers wrote and enjoyed that part of what you gave us, the 12th message.
Yes, a couple of very prominent Urantia book leaders emailed us in support of that message.
Yes, that message is wonderful for everyone to feel included in the future world that you are making for us. Thank you. So Maitreya, does this have to do with a political agenda? No. No, it does not. Is it social? No. No. Are you here to tell us about the health grid, the energy health grid? No.
Religious.
Is it religious? Yes. Yes, it is. It is. Thank you. So Maitreya, you want to talk about the religion of the future? Yes, it does.
Will it be a worldwide religion, a global religion that everyone will adhere to? or everyone will practice?
Not exactly. Not exactly. Will most people still worship in their individual churches? No. They will not. Well, I know you've been telling us, especially the Universal Father, that he wants people to start attending a church of their choice, and that his presence is going to be in every church, every mosque, every temple, and that his presence will be felt by everyone that enters in some way. And more as time goes on, will we still have those temples and mosques and churches? You're saying they will be changed. Not most, he says, but some of the buildings will be new. And they will continue using some. But they will be changed. They will be changed. Will the buildings themselves, the look of them, be also changed? Yes. The appearance will be changed. I see. Is there a certain type of appearance that you want the churches to look like? Not necessarily, but you're saying that they will be changed. Will it be to follow more of a model that you have? Yes. But people will have also their own choice as to a lot of the features of it. So you do have a model in mind. Yes, he does. And will some of the churches or temples or mosques be used? Some will, but they will be redesigned a great deal. And of course, I don't know exactly what time period you're talking about. Well, he's saying it will be a gradual thing.
Is it within the 50-year magisterial mission time?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Probably by 40 years from now, we should see all of these buildings, and they are buildings, reproduced according to more of a model that Maitreya would like to give to the world.
Okay.
Until that time, he and the Universal Father would like to use the churches and buildings and mosques and the temples that we have today.
We were also told, Lord Maitreya, in a couple of meetings, I believe that you or the Universal Father or a combination of supporters or workers would be starting to infuse the existing churches, mosques, and temples with some of these new concepts, new teachings, new messages.
Yes, yes, they will. And because they will, the buildings that we have today will be somewhat redesigned. Some of them can continue to be used, but many of them will have to have new facades and new elements added to incorporate the new way of worship.
And I would probably imagine the articles within the church itself, the furniture, the
Yes.
altars or
Yes.
lack of altars,
Yeah, exactly.
paintings, statues, right?
There will not be statues. There will not be paintings.
Will there be any images that will represent any of the concepts or teaching?
No, not really. Not his model. His model does not have that.
Paintings or statues
No.
that show
No,
religious
no,
scenes or concepts?
no,
Okay.
no. Again, he would like to use some of the buildings that are in place now, but we have to remember that in 20 or 30 or 40 years, certainly a lot of these will be very old and will need to be replaced just because of age. And
Well,
then
but
when they
you've got-
do, then they will go along the new lines that he would like to have
But I mean, you've
incorporated.
got cathedrals throughout
Yes.
Europe, and then you've got the church on the corner, and then
Oh,
you've got
sure, right.
temples and mosques and all
Uh-huh.
kinds of things.
He will try and use as much as he can of what is already in place. But naturally, there's going to be different transportation centers that will be springing up, and a lot of different centers that will be put into place that will not really be in the right area for a church. That probably a lot of new churches will be built to be incorporated in this new.
Okay, so new
Setup.
churches being built
A
also.
lot of them will. Not more than 50%, but about 40% new churches. Some of these buildings that are very old will continue to be used, but will be redesigned or remodeled perhaps,
For this new religion.
for the new.
Could we call
Yes.
it a religion, Lord Maitreya? Is it a religion?
No, we're not going to call it a religion. Or he would rather not.
Would it be tied to worship?
Not as much as we think.
Is it a building?
There will be worship in it. But in other words, we go into a church today, he says, and we don't really think about too much except we are going to sit there, we are going to pray, we are going to listen to perhaps a sermon, and then we leave or have a little fellowship. These will be different. These will not really be called churches or temples or mosques. They will be centers for people. There will be worship, but not in its entirety, not entirely.
They'll be called centers, spiritual centers?
Yes, you could call them a spiritual center. He likes that. Thank you, Michael.
I just remember, Lord Maitreya, that you talked about some of your team creating spiritual centers on a higher plane, but, influencing the earth, helping the earth, bring messages to the earth, help to keep your policies and your new programs in place on a more ethereal plane. That's where I kind of got that idea, spiritual centers, because
Yes.
that was a name that you seemed to favor or seemed to like when we talked about those higher plane spiritual centers. So you think that this is a good term for these?
Yes, a spiritual center for people. The ones that are on the higher planes will be the models for the ones that are on earth that will be built or redesigned
Okay.
using the ones that are already in place. And he's saying about 60% will use of what is already in place, but they will be changed.
Okay.
So about 40% will be new, about 60% will be changed, transformed. Yes, transformed
Into a
spiritual center, which might include making it larger, enlarging it perhaps, because it won't be just a worship center.
Yeah, different colors, like particular color schemes and things. Or just like totally redesigned. Many elements redesigned to fit the new mode.
Yes, certainly. He is, again, very interested in our health. And he's calling it spiritual health. Our spiritual health. He has given us this energy grid And that is in place, although it still is evolving and will evolve for the whole 50 years. It will be made more perfect as time goes on, as the people develop and evolve and are able to receive it. They can't really receive too much of it right now. But as the people evolve and get into this new way of thinking and this new model of a spiritual center,
Then
they will be able to,
spiritual health.
yes, spiritual health.
Then their spiritual health will improve.
Yes, of course.
And physical health too?
Oh, of course. But there is a lack of spiritual health. People don't have the energy to really develop their spiritual nature without some help from Him. He is going to help us to develop spiritual health. The physical health will be helped with the energy grid. The spiritual health will be helped by the activities in these spiritual centers.
I see. So physical health will improve by way of the energy grid, and spiritual health will improve by way of the spiritual centers and the activities.
Yes, Now, again, he says that the physical health will also be helped by many other programs and projects. For one, the lifestyle will have to be changed for most of people today,
For physical health.
for good physical health. And of course, we have to remember that we have to feed all of the billions of people that are on the earth. I know, I was just looking at an article the other day that said that really everyone was so worried that we would not be able to feed people even today, but we have been able to. Mankind keeps developing new ways of working that out. I think we've done a better job than a lot of people thought maybe 10 or 20 years ago.
Well, I think also with the eventual legislation that Maitreya, that you, Lord Maitreya, have promised, that people will no longer need to kill animals, that they will be not eating animal products 30 to 50 years, which would naturally lead us to be able to produce food and distribute it, throughout the world.
More grains that the animals would be eating, and they still will, but it will be in a whole different context. They will be treated humanely, and things will be organized to be better.
That land used for meat production could be used for, grain production, vegetable food production.
Well, the animals will still need land, but it will be a whole different system, and he will talk to us about that at a later time. These spiritual health centers, it's a spiritual health that people need today. People don't really have the energy to really develop the spiritual part of themselves. They really don't. They are lacking in vitality, spiritual vitality. Now, one way that they will do that will be through sound. Sound will have something to do with that. And music and sound. He's saying there are other elements, but he would rather not go into too many.
Do you mean, Lord Maitreya, music and sound in the spiritual centers? Is that what you mean?
Definitely. Yes. Music will help to raise people's spiritual health through sound. More than he feels, more than anything else right at this time, that's what we need. Now, of course, I love to think of color, but he's saying the sound is what the people of the earth, at their level of development, need the most.
Who will produce this music and this sound in the spiritual centers? Will it be human beings that create this music? Or how will that happen?
Well, he's saying that he has introduced us to many celestials that have music as one of their vital interests.
Yes, the celestial musicians.
Yes.
Yeah.
And through their influence, and one of them was Melody, if you recall.
And Gadriel.
Gadriel,
And Iris.
Iris.
And
Yes.
there was also the two young ladies.
Oh yes,
right?
Dora and
Corinth.
Corinne.
And Dora.
Yes. He's saying that they will use their gift of music to pour down to the earth all kinds of ideas and innovations that people will pick up and be able to revitalize the music on the earth. The music on the earth has degenerated to a great degree. And this is why he believes that we have a very low level of spiritual activity and energy. There are certain sounds, he says, that will revitalize the cells in our bodies and will accelerate our ability to have a more spiritual life. I know you had given us, the Celestials, you have given us the 554 plan, which was at some point you were going to put in a 5-hour workday for people and no more. And then 5 hours to have for meditation, thinking about God, thinking about all of the celestials, the angels, the Melchizedeks, all of this wonderful, wonderful team that you have, and the supporters, we don't want to forget about them. So, he's saying through sound will be picked up by humans through intuition, by these celestial musicians, and little by little, people will start to see that this new way of producing music will start to revitalize them and make them feel healthier and better. If their bodies are in harmony with nature and the world, with the universe, the harmony that is produced, the peace that will be felt in the cells of each person in their bodies, will give them an extra dose of energy, and they will be able then to pray, to meditate, and actually accomplish some of the spiritual, activities that Maitreya would like to instill upon the earth. These are spiritual activities that we really don't even know about today. There are so many things that we can do that people are not even considering in their lives. Being able to read someone's mind a little better, to really understand another person's situation. Being able to understand things that are going on many, many miles away and still have the right feel or take on the situation. That they will be able to make decisions with better and more information. Their bodies will be in harmony. They will be at peace with their body. And more spiritual skills, more spiritual energy will be available to them. So the 554 plan is not for people to work a 5-hour day and then go for 5 hours and just have fun. Although fun is certainly a part of it, and in our Urantia book, it's very important.
Spiritual fun.
Of course, things that are beneficial. But it does mean that maybe people will be meditating more or will be trying to, because they do see the benefits that it's going to start bringing people. And it allows the angels to help us more.
This new music,
Yes.
this new music and sound.
Yes. The angels are giving us this music and sound to help us. And through meditation, through prayer, we will be able to receive it in a more productive way. Now, I know I keep wanting to talk about color, but you're saying that the people on the earth really need sound first, and that will be one of the first things that you will make a priority, is the sound that is put out to the world. I know we were told for a Christmas gift that the Universal Father was going to give the world a choir of angels.
And there were other angels that were going to be blessing the world with colors and sound.
Yes,
also,
together.
in addition to the Universal Father sending choirs of angels.
Yes.
For a year.
Yes, for a whole year. So you're saying that these celestials, particular ones, will create this music, create this sound, and then flood the earth with it. And those that are able to receive it will benefit from it in a healthful way, not only being able to maybe increase their ability to have telepathy, maybe, a lot of other skills that would help us in our lives.
How about just communicating and fellowshipping with you all?
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Yes, of course.
That's what we were first told with the 10-year plan,
yes.
that the local universe father and the local universe mother are closer to the earth and closer to us than ever before, and we have the opportunity to really learn from them and be friends with them and talk to them and learn, how to live a more spiritual life.
Of course, of course.
So that's a skill too, definitely.
So it looks like Maitreya is saying that one of the first things that will be implemented in the temples as they are redesigned for fellowship and different spiritual activities will be giving the people a new kind of music that will elevate their senses, giving them spiritual health, physical health, and the ability to communicate, as you said, with the celestials in a more positive way. Yes.
I had a question. I wanted to ask, since you were talking about pouring onto the earth, or pouring forth onto the earth new sounds, new music, I was wondering the sounds that you said you'd be giving out at Christmas time that would be lasting throughout the whole year. Are those sounds, were they a blessing to us, or are those some of the sounds you're talking about that people will pick up and start to use in their music, or was it simply an upliftment or a blessing?
Well, it's all of those.
So it has. So I guess my question is then, it has begun then. The pouring out of the sound upon the earth for our benefit has begun.
Well, not exactly, because he has a specific way that he is going to incorporate it into these spiritual centers for people to use. But the sounds that will be given for the year will be kind of a awakening for people, an awakening to get a little bit of what is to come. Yes, yes, it's an awakening to start to waken them up just a little bit these sounds they are giving for this year are not as strong as what he is going to incorporate into these centers, because he just wants to have an awakening this year. People to just have a little taste, a little bit of recognition of what is to come. But it will be a lot stronger, and it will have to be, to really heal the bodies of the earth. The bodies of this earth need so much healing. And even a healthy person, that they are just nowhere near what he wants to achieve with each cell of each person's body. He wants to awaken them with the sound in the beginning through these centers. It will be, this year will be a foretaste of what is to come, but in a very mild way. Very, very mild. So it's just kind of like a taste of what will come. Yes.
And that will be throughout the year.
Throughout this year.
Yeah. The blessings began, the choirs of angels, colors and sound began this Christmas time.
Yes,
to last
Christmas
for a year.
time, to last for a whole year.
Thank you for that. Thank you so much
Yes,
for
and
that.
Universal Father and Infinite Mother, thank you for all of the blessings you give us.
Thank you
and
so
Lord
much.
Maitreya, yes. But I do assume that color will be used too. Oh yes, of course. I know we had Melody who said that about 80% of her work was with color.
Showers of color and light.
Yes.
Colorful light.
Yes,
She's
Color
a
and light.
celestial. She's a celestial musician
Yes,
with whom we talked at length during one of the team meetings.
yes.
She said she's a composer
Of light.
of showers of light,
Yes.
showers of colorful light.
The thing is, Maitreya is saying that he needs to show people how to arrange this light, how to produce it,
The
how
sound,
to
you mean?
use it. In other words, people today do not know. And so these celestials will have to show us, have to teach us. And in these centers, they will, to bring about this light and sound benefit for the world. Will the temples and the mosques and these buildings be predominantly for sound and light? No, not predominantly, but they will be put in as part of the activities to try and bring up the spiritual and physical health of everyone.
Sound and music. I
Yes.
think you said first, right?
Yes.
Light to come.
Yeah, later. He's going to put in the sound first.
And then the music.
Yes. The sound is the music. The sound is the music. Even if it's just one note, it is the music.
Okay.
Whatever it is, he will teach us and they will show us.
All right.
And hopefully, he says that some people who are already really meditating and really praying will hopefully pick up on this and be maybe the first ones to start bringing just a little bit of this to the world.
Could we call them spiritual musicians?
You certainly could. Of course.
We wouldn't want to call them celestial musicians because
No.
they'll be the humans that are picking up
Of course.
the influence and then creating that.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
So, you will, with your celestial team and the helpers and the supporters, show us and teach us how to use these sounds for our benefit and in these centers, of course. Okay. Now, he doesn't really want to talk about worship today.
May I ask another question?
Of course.
Okay. Lord Maitreya, this new type of music, this new type of sound and music, will it be reproduced on instruments that we already have, or will it be more of like an electronic type of music?
It will not be on instruments that we have. That's the situation.
Will it be done through technology, through computers and amplifiers and speakers? Or is it more like bells?
It could be. It could be. Although we do have bells, of course.
So we would need to manufacture new types of bells.
Like bells, but
Oh,
not
like
bells.
bells,
Not
okay.
bells.
Like xylophone type or vibraphone, marimba?
No. No.
Is it like percussion?
No. It's
No.
not. More like maybe, we would think maybe of more like harp.
Okay, so more like a stringed type instrument then.
No, it won't be, but it will be sounding a little bit more like a harp, some of it. There will be so much of it and so much variety that we really can't get into too much of that right now.
Okay, I was just going to ask a
Yes,
basic,
yes.
basic question.
There won't be trumpets in it, although I know we do see angels with trumpets, don't we? But he's saying no,
I think,
that's not what he wants.
yeah, so not instruments that we currently have.
No,
It'll have to be a new way of expressing, or it'll have to be something different that will be able to express this new mode of music and sound. Wow, that's exciting.
yes, Actually, instruments have not changed a whole lot for a long time, so it will be interesting to see what he is going to try and bring about here. He's saying it won't be instruments, really. He was saying maybe some of it, a little bit of the harp, but sound, but not necessarily instruments.
Voice?
No.
Okay. Will it be sequential with a rhythm?
No, not particularly.
So it'll be free?
No.
Okay.
Sorry, it's hard to.
No, that's okay. We're just trying to explore here.
It will be music, it will be sound. It will be used to bring up our health spiritually and physically. But it is not necessarily with instruments at all. So it will be something new. Something we're not used to? No. Something we have not really heard before. Now I know we've heard choirs in our churches and so forth, and we had mentioned the Universal Father was giving us a choir of angels, but we must remember that the choir of angels may sound differently than the choirs in our churches.
That's very true.
We don't know. So this is something in the future. But he will teach us, he will give us this, and this sound, this light that the celestials are going to be giving us, it will start to penetrate. It already has. Some of those celestials are already, Christmas is over, they have already been flooding our earth with some of their light and sound.
Yes. We thank you all for that.
Yes, yes we do. The sound. Is this a sound made by the people particularly? No. No, it's not. Not by a device, no. Not by an instrument. Not the voice, no. Well, all right, we shall await with anticipated
Bated breath.
anticipated breath to see what you're talking about. Of course, you would have things that wouldn't be something maybe that we're not quite ready for. 100 years ago, no one would expect to have a plane flying in.
Well, see, Lord Maitreya, that was kind of one of my thoughts that I was having here. That a lot of the changes that we've seen in music, in technology, in lifestyle, have evolved over hundreds, sometimes thousands of years. And you're proposing changes that will happen within 30, 50 years that are very, very radical, very sudden changes. Are we up to it? Can humans change so many things so drastically, so quickly?
Well, the sound itself is what he's going to use to help uplift the cells in the body. The sounds that he gives us, in whatever way that will be.
So that will help us to be able to change quickly, transform quickly.
It will make us more healthy and have more energy, all these things. The energy grid and the sound system that he's going to put in place in these centers will be a sound system of some kind.
Because he's talked about everyone being vegetarian in 30 years.
Yes,
and,
That's
the Middle
right.
East transformed,
Yes.
peaceful and prosperous.
That's right.
Those are pretty radical shifts. in
Yes,
a short
they are.
amount of time.
But, if you look back on the world, there have been some major changes after World War II, after World War I. I mean, each decade brings unheard of ideas. And I know I used to sit in front of a big radio, and now we have, oh my goodness, we have our smartphones, we have all our technology,
That's true.
that no one would have ever dreamed of, even when I was a little girl. So you say 30, 40, 50 years, there could be a complete transformation of the whole world, and he's saying there will be.
In 50 years,
A complete transformation of the whole world.
there will be
Yes.
a complete transformation of the world.
He's saying the sounds that will help us at first are sounds that he will bring that are of a cosmic nature to help us at first. So they may not sound like music to our ears, but they will help us. They will definitely help us. In other words, maybe different frequencies that we're not used to. That might not even be heard by everyone. And he says a lot of those cosmic frequencies are out there already. He will just amplify them so that people have an ability to be able to benefit from them.
Will they come through the energy grid?
Yes.
Will they come from the energy grid?
No.
No, but they'll be filtered
Cosmic sounds
through
through it.
Okay.
Yes.
The cosmic sounds will be filtered
So it
through
may
the
not at
grid.
first sound like music like we're used to, but the sounds will have a purpose. They have a purpose because of their frequency and so forth, to help the cells in our body. And we will begin to understand that that will work, and therefore people will join in to try and benefit from it.
I see. So, but some people will hear these frequencies.
Well, he's hoping that everyone will eventually bring them up to a certain level where everyone can. But at first,
At the
only
beginning,
some.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like even now, he says some people may hear some of these frequencies that are being poured upon the earth.
So some of them are coming through already.
Yes, yes, right, exactly. But for the most part, most people have a pretty hard shell around their bodies, and not a whole lot gets through.
Myself included.
So he's trying to open up our hearts and I know we were listening to some of the Melchizedeks that were going to try and do that particular project, going to each individual and opening up their hearts. And even by that, doing that, that will help them to receive these higher frequencies, higher sounds that can impact on their bodies. But eventually he says that there will be music, as we think of music, also incorporated, but that we need some help so desperately at first that it will be mostly these sounds to bring our bodies into balance. Using frequencies of sound to do that, try and help people. So music isn't forever out the window, I guess. Well, and it's just simply that this is for a specific purpose.
Yeah.
That's all.
The sound frequencies are to begin opening us up.
Yes. Well,
The beginning sound frequencies.
well, yes. But the Melchizedeks were going to try and open up the hearts of people, and then they can more easily accept the sound frequencies or hear them.
So that's a key component, is
Yes.
Melchizedek's opening.
They're going to try and open people's hearts. That's one of the first things that they were going to do.
Yeah, and that was a number of months ago that they
Yes.
said they were doing that.
Yes.
So they've begun doing that?
Yes, they have. They are trying to open up the hearts of people, and by opening up that door a little bit more, a lot of cosmic frequencies can maybe come in that might be beneficial and helpful. You have to have a vehicle that is receptive to all of these new frequencies and things that Maitreya wants to bring into, to elevate the population, to give them more energy, to give them more love by opening their hearts, the ability to love, give love, receive love.
I remember one of the Melchizedeks was to bring personal messages to people.
Yes, yes, of course.
I'm sure that ties into it.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Oh, definitely, most assuredly.
You know, the personal messages were for them to help them find their spiritual path, to help them find the ways to live a better spiritual life and connect more with the celestial, with celestial guidance.
Yes, he's saying that if you want to begin just a very tiny or in a very small way, just simply take a glass or metal bowl, and you could take some kind of a implement to go around it, like the singing bowls, you know, the Tibetan singing bowls, and listen to the ringing. Listen, and listen as it fades away, and listen to it. Just in a very small way. You could purchase a Tibetan singing bowl, which is fine, but, you know, I find I have a lot of bowls in my home right now, and they produce a beautiful sound.
Yeah, we have two of the metal singing bowls.
Yes, we do have two of the Tibetan
And we have a couple
ones.
really beautiful crystal bowls that when you hit them, it makes a
Yes,
really
that's what
pretty
I'm saying.
sound.
A lot of people don't even realize that they have bowls right in their home that if they used like a singing bowl, that it would produce a beautiful beneficial sound for them. So he's saying in a tiny way, you could begin that way, maybe before a meditation or before a prayer time, to use the singing bowl, or just gather the bowls that you have, glass bowls, try them. You just take a mallet or something, go around the outside of the bowl, and then as you lift it up, a lot of times you will hear the ringing continue, and you'll hear the sound, and listen to it intently. That this could be a tiny way that people could start introducing themselves to a little different way of elevating their thought and their spiritual life. To start adding sound. Not the music that we usually hear and the songs that we hear, but to try it with
Okay.
the singing bowls.
So adding sound to your prayer time or your worship time, or your quiet time, reflection time, spiritual time.
Yes,
Start adding the sound to it.
Yes, yes. Not the music that we put on a CD, but the natural sound that comes from a bowl, the natural sound that comes from objects that are hit upon and used. I mean, you can't really say that a bowl is an instrument. You can, but it's not exactly one that we think of as an instrument. And yet it is producing a sound that he would like people to begin implementing with their prayer and meditation
So
time.
kind of the picture I'm getting is that the spiritual centers will be something like that, but in a more complex way.
Why don't you go get one of the Tibetan bowls, and we'll let the people hear that are listening to the tape.
Okay.
We'll wait for you. Thank you. Michael's going to get one of the Tibetan bowls that we have.
I've got two of them.
Actually has two, just to give you an idea of maybe a beginning way to start thinking of what Maitreya has in mind. Of course, this won't be, it will be different, but this is what he's suggesting to begin. Okay, Michael is back with the two Tibetan bowls that we have.
These two bowls, I believe, we purchased in Idlewild, at a shop in Idlewild. It's a little place,
Oh, we did.
maybe about halfway to Palm Springs, between Los Angeles and Palm Springs. It's called Idlewild. It's up in the mountains. So here's our big bowl. And then we have our small bowl.
Well, thank you, Michael, for bringing those down to share with everyone. So Maitreya is saying if you want to begin just in a very small way with your prayer or meditation time, to use the singing bowls, or just find a glass bowl that you have and experiment, finding out what bowls might have a good sound. I have a large salad bowl that is crystal, and it has the best sound of anything. It is fabulous. So just in a tiny way, if you would like to do something like that to experiment with, that would be very nice. So, well, we thank you, Maitreya, for that, and we praise you for coming. We praise Lord Maitreya. We praise the Infinite Mother Spirit. We praise the Universal Father, and I am assuming that he has brought them in here today, and he has. So thank you so much for
Yes,
that.
thank you all so much for coming.
Yes.
What a wonderful message.
Yes, that
Especially
is.
for us, Diane and
Yes.
myself, musicians and singers.
Well, frequencies of sound, I think, are what he's talking about, and to use them in certain ways and in combinations to try and elevate ourselves into good health, good spiritual health, and happiness. There was one more thing that Maitreya didn't want me to forget, but it wasn't connected with the singing bowls. And also the Infinite Mother was suggesting this also.
Okay.
And that was, if you would like to start singing yourself more around the home. Even if you're not a singer, it doesn't matter. Just singing will help to make you healthier and happier. I read an article that said humming around the house made people more positive and less prone to depression. So, two ideas that Maitreya and the Infinite Mother are giving us here, and that is the bowls. And you don't have to run out and buy an expensive bowl. You probably have something in your own pantry. But the Tibetan bowls are perfect, of course. The singing bowls are perfect for that. So, if you have a little prayer time or meditation, you might try that. And then to start singing around the house to try and elevate yourself. Because I think that he's saying that more of the sound eventually will be produced by our own bodies as the instrument, rather than adding an instrument. And in whatever way that is, we'll find out.
Yeah. Okay.
So thank you, Lord Maitreya. Thank you, Infinite Mother. And thank you, Universal Father. And we love you all dearly. And please give our regards to Bryce. I believe we'll be seeing him 1 or 2 times next month in January.
And the Universal Mother.
The Universal Mother, we will look forward to seeing. I'm sorry we missed her, but we will see her again. So, not January perhaps, but maybe in March. So we will wait for that.
And Infinite Mother Spirit, we've been talking about Local Universe Father and Local Universe Mother a lot today.
Yes.
Especially this morning.
Yes.
So please tell them that we love them. We tell them every day, 3 times
Yes,
a day that we
we
love them and
do.
thank
We do,
them.
but give our regards to them.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. They are not here. Thank you, Michael. So it'll be different. It could be the instrument is our own body. That if we sing certain frequencies, we can maybe get ourselves in tune and in balance.
So that's what I thought, the voice.
The voice. But not the voices of choirs, it's using it ourselves.
You sing me your love song and comfort my soul with your love, my heart is full. You play me a melody so soft and so sweet. I fill in the harmony to make it complete. Here we are, 2 lovers in love, exploring the heavens above, sharing our lives and never to part, for love is the music of the heart. With the beautiful music we're swept away to worlds unknown where we can play. Promise to love me all the while, as hand in hand we walk the mile. lovers in love, exploring the heavens above, sharing our lives and never to part, for love is the music of the heart. Love truly does make the world go round. From the primordial divine mind and pulsating heart of God flows an eternal symphony of love, composed of exquisite celestial melodies and beautifully measured cyclic rhythms. With the beautiful music, all of God's sons and daughters throughout the immense and glorious universes are swept away with the sweet musical expression of God's all-surpassing and all-encompassing love. Our hearts thrill with joy and delight at God's pleasing artistry as we experience the divine pulse within our souls. And from an intrinsic desire welling up from within our inmost being, we are compelled to join in the song and dance of the ages. Our hearts cannot help but burst forth with an offering of sacred melodies of love, praise, and adoration, combined with our own carefully crafted harmonies, as accompaniment to the divine melody pouring forth from our eternal and infinite Father in paradise. As we traverse the inward spiral toward perfect and harmonious communion with God, as we explore unknown worlds and imagine the heavens above, and as we work to recreate the heavenly tune in our own lives, we are comforted in the knowledge that we share our musical journey with our loving God and with all of our fellow musicians, mortal, celestial, and divine. Let us all together walk the miles, hand in hand, to the tempo of God's great symphony of love, attuning our hearts, our minds, our souls, and our spirits to the one great eternal melody of God. Love is the music of the heart. Your lullabies delight me and fill me with joy. Your pleasing artistry is mine to employ. So sing me your love song and comfort my soul. With your love, with your love, my heart is whole. I feel the pulse within my soul that beats in perfect time. As a symphony delights our ears, I am yours and you are mine. You are mine. Here we are, two lovers in love, exploring the heavens above, sharing our lives and never to part, for love is the music. I feel the pulse within my soul that beats in perfect time. As a symphony delights our ears, I am yours and you are mine. You are mine. Here we are, two lovers in love, exploring the heavens above, sharing our lives and never to part, for love is the music. Yes, love is the music. Love is the music of the heart. You sing me your love song and comfort my soul. Maitreya, Maitreya, Maitreya.